Bwahahaha. My name is Amy2 and welcome back to Talk to Transformer. I've been doing this a lot lately, just because it's easier to edit. And right now, with the Strong Crusader video in queue, I need to get these in last minute and stuff like that. Hopefully I'll be done editing it soon. Anyway, let's get this one through. Amy too found Moon's journal and started reading it. So it seems the better we cooperate, the more likely it is to have your fill of food. And I've just started my preparations, so I don't need to worry about you getting too full to eat. Excuse me? Ha ha ha! Waking up to their mocking laughter, Lola rubbed her eyes in frustration as she replied, thanks for helping. Lola, you know what a normal eating schedule is like? The copy girl the copy girl suddenly sounded nervous. Lola sighed and answered, yeah, you know, it's 3 times a day. You wake up around 8 or 9 a.m., eat for 20 minutes, then come back to bed at 10. Then it... What? I like how it went from Amy 2 reading Moon's journal to some kind of like, hey, who here knows a regular eating schedule? Moon caught Amy to reading his journal. Moon caught Amy 2 reading his journal when he reached level 8 and discovered a new list of objectives. He'd have to find all the items and structures on the map before time ran out. And he could only start on one each turn. He smiled to himself. The platinum pieces went down well below his platinum meter. What? So there were no worries. Time lapsed and Amy went for the golden action on the screen and started turning it to light a well. It was an obvious fail, since she was still missing most of the golden items. She needed to figure out how to gain more from each golden point and go further. It was going to take him months, but she'd have to do some work to see a plan through. He did as ... Turn into some kind of RPG game or whatever. Slater, okay. Slater, was eating an apple. What is this? Slater was eating an apple that was clearly marked as blue. And he will keep eating from it as long as it is blue. But it is advised that he could eat more healthy foods. Once it starts to turn brown, he should stop eating from it. Some parents may want to change the name of the snack so that it is not as Slater. One apple was labeled Blue Skunk by parents as they will start to look forward to it when their child gets hungry. You could label the food and give instructions that it must be eaten only from orange colors. Food fight / Slater bites. What? Slater bites. This is a rare occurrence when a child refuses a healthy snack and instead digs into other food instead. It is called food fight, and one of the signs... What is this garbage? I like how they labeled one of the apples Blue Skunk. What? Big Boy and Buddy landed on a lush planet. What? Big Boy and Buddy landed on a lush green planet and said they need help. You know, because it was a space mission. Buddy's white knight had informed him that they would be going to some remote space station and help him out. He still needed help finding the power he needed to fix his airplane. But for now, he was just happy to be alive. They sat down on Buddy's mole. What? And Buddy grabbed the light blue dog's tail for some video of them performing a cowboy salutes in the sky. The pilot was flying away from the city and the country park they would be crashing into. So they were all set, right? Right, except for one thing. What the hell is Buddy wearing? I've seen his ... Excuse me, what? That one was really good. Amy 2 was sharpening her machete. Amy 2 is sharpening her machete for the final battle with Donald. Donald. After narrowly escaping, she almost slipped, but thankfully managed to stay on her feet. What? There was just one more challenge to complete before the finale of the day. Rosie was going to the trampoline zone and risked getting tangled in her stick when the airbag knocked her off balance. What is this? We watched in horror as she was dragged into a pile of foam and carried up the tower. But soon she was dangling there once more, her body resting in the air and facing the camera. As Rosie stood up, tears began to pour from her eyes, and she continued her journey towards the championship. What a majestic and heartwarming experience. In all fairness, through her journey into the ... This round is really good. Okay, Moon was changing his car's tires. Moon was changing his car's tires and gas tank on more than one occasion, which he later got caught doing. He got caught stealing paint at a churchyard sale and stole a motorcycle, which he later crashed. When cops were asking him about some of the brushes he was purchasing, he ignored it. The theft arrest would come later. Once he cut off his pants. Oh man, it's so good. Once he cut off his pants, took a drive through traffic, and proceeded to... Okay. I'll skip that part. On another occasion, he threw a chair through a wall at another man who was shooting pool at him. Excuse me? When the armed robber fired back, he accidentally fired 3 shots at the shooter's index finger. Index finger, what? The last violent incident that Gonzalez had with another man. ... What was this? Turns out, the one that I thought was going to be the worst was actually the best. Slater was digging up a car at the junkyard. Slater was digging up a car at the junkyard about 6:30 a.m. last Tuesday when he found a pair of shorts sticking out of a slumbering car, buried between a dumpster and a rock crusher. Bello was alarmed by... Bello is a frickin' name of a character, apparently. was alarmed by what he saw and drove to the break room. "I was kind of shivering," Bellows said. "It was like I had a hangover or something." Excuse me, what? He and his crew cut off the shorts to inspect the car, but could not remove the tires. So they put them back on. So apparently they did remove them. Bellows cut the slumbering car apart, excuse me, what? With a torch, and managed to dig up the keys. Well, you cut the car up, what point is getting the keys now? The car was a 3D printed Daddy Longlegs project. Excuse me, what? Big Boy and Buddy were repainting their spaceship. Big Boy and Buddy were repainting their spaceship before the launch, but according to their documents, all of the rooms were so screwed up and so stinky that a guy was actually given permission to stand in one room and take pictures of the phobias of the two guys who were replacing the carpet. Excuse me, what? Don't worry, the documents show that his job was mostly completed before the criminal became the perpetrator, whatever that means. However you pronounce that. Jalopnik reports, "The single individual who introduced the two individuals to each other is a woman named Connie Phillips. Her mother was Paul Phillips, and Paul Phillips is the name of her mother. Isn't Paul a guy's name? Is listed as the person who picked up the two men for their flight to Korea in the spring of 1999. What does this have to do with anything? Amy 2 went on a trip with Moon in his 1981 Impala. How did it guess the color of Moon's car? Amy 2 went on a trip with Moon in his 1981 Impala to California. Charlie offered her to eat lunch and share a car ride in his white Impala. After doing so, Mr. Sporty, what a name, told Charlie to stop by his office. Charlie then commented how the San Francisco Muni was an old school. He left the car and went to the office. Charlie went to the train station for some basketball and made fun of Tony. Tony put it on the air for Tony's agent to put out a release. Tony came in and got his release. Charlie told him that if he was going to leave, he was going to go fast. He left the Impala and went back to the office. Yeah, if you're gonna leave fast. Moon tripped over a sponge. Moon tripped over a sponge. It was more than just a reflex, and whenever it tried to attack... No! Crookshanks cried. What a name. Roughnut bent... That's even worse of a name. Roughnut bent down and patted the parrot's head. "You saved his life," she giggled. But there was another shock in her tone. "What do you mean? That towel was the only reason the thing hadn't eaten me." A towel? The bunny, whatever that is, loomed over the trees. For the past 10 minutes, it had followed the orphans through the woods. There were no longer any blind squirrels on the surrounding mountains. Crookshanks knew that he should have reacted more quickly. But in his weakened state, the blue tongue was quick and clever. What? What is this? Slutter grab his shotgun. Sutter grabbed his shotgun. The battle was over. The dogs were dead and in pieces, hiding among the snow, their snouts sticking out from the snow. What is this? In a raid of a pig farm that he was hunting, Itelson had come upon a woman and her pigs. As it turned out, she had a sick pig. An employee of the pigs informed Itelson that she had already given it away to a neighbor. Itelson had then sent out after the neighbor on foot, looking for the pig's new owners. He took the pig back home with him. In a fourth raid, a rooming house, Itelson had discovered that he could hawk things from his car. Excuse me, hawk? His clothes, books, and furniture, and bring them back. Big Boy and Buddy were adjusting the engine of their spaceship. Big Boy and Buddy were adjusting the engine of their spaceship as it sat in the launch pad of Port Nowhere. The entrance was out of sight in the desert, the launch pad lying far into the distance, and all that was visible from the airfield was a blazing orange flare in the direction of where we were. 3 men stood at the ropes holding the wire ropes to the ship, and another was up on the deck overseeing the operation, examining the engine as if to make sure it was in good working order. I like how it says, like, he's examining the engine as if to make sure it was in good working order. In one hand, he held a wheel, which was responsible for retracting the 2 dinky pegs into the fuselage. These were there for lowering the engine with its 2 legs into the pad. While in the other hand, he held a long steel rod. Amy, too, grabbed her machete. And, again with this iced thing. Amy, too, grabbed her machete and iced them both. Come and get your friend. This is gonna get bloody. Yeah, Clem said as she and Meredith stood. Come on. Wish I could say no to you, but I have to, Iris said as she followed them. You guys are a danger to the world. What? What? You want to stop our sisterly troubles? Clem asked. L.E.L. Zod yelled. What? I won't. Even if this conflict ended tomorrow, we would never stop them. You really think you can't fight? Zod asked Clem. I just can't, Clem shouted as she got... Moon got a flat tire while driving on the highway. Moon got a flat tire while driving on the highway. He was about to fall asleep in his car on the freeway when he decided to stop at McDonald's. I got out, pulled out, got out, and I'm here, and I'm like, are you alright, man? Moon said, referring to the aftermath of the accident. Moon said he hadn't had anything to drink before leaving for the drive, and he didn't drink at the McDonald's either. He was taken to the hospital and said he might have broken a leg. I had a feeling that I just needed to go to the hospital, he said. Shortly after that, Moon decided to go into the nearest bar. According to his testimony, he didn't want to stay long. What is this? But anyway, I'm going to have to end this video here. If you liked it, comment, subscribe, like, watch my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.